Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and today we're discussing the science of the Cloverfield Paradox. Oh no! Why did he lose his arm? Dimensions! If we do the same thing, quantum mechanics says it will take us back! Of course! Science! So that's all I really had planned for this video. I just watched Cloverfield Paradox, and if you're interested in how multiverse theory works, we can go into that stuff, but I feel like it's better to do that in another context. I would not recommend the Cloverfield Paradox. I was really kind of interested in this. It was released without any promotion or anything like that, and I do like sci-fi. This was insane. To dissect all of this stuff would be very difficult. I will tell you that this film had potential. There's one scene where the foosball table starts spinning and it gets all weird, and then the foosball table, like the players on it, change color. That's really clever because it signifies the ship gradually like transitioning into its alternate universe form. The problem is that it's like, well, why does that guy have that ship's drive in his stomach? Why was he filled with worms? Why was the arm sentient, and how did it know that the drive was in the guy's stomach? Why was the husband and that little girl part of the story at all? I mean, it was good for the payoff at the end, and it was neat to see that Cloverfield monster up close once more. But, yeah. But let's take a moment to review the entire Cloverfield franchise while I'm here. The first movie was a lot of fun in its own weird way. It was kind of neat to see a found film dealing with a giant monster, and the logistics of filming behind that was kind of interesting. The science behind it isn't very non-existent, and that actually gets into something about giant creatures in general. There's actually a hard limit on how big a creature can be, and that's probably somewhere in the range of a blue whale or a brontosaurus or something like that. These big giant animals that are really at the maximum of what a biological structure can be before it physically collapses in on itself. And there's a hard physics behind that. It's not like building a structure out of metal. Biological cells and all of that stuff can't handle being too big. It just doesn't work. So a Cloverfield monster, even the relatively small one that we saw in the first movie, wouldn't work. The really big one we see at the end of Cloverfield Paradox makes no sense. As for 10 Cloverfield Lane, there's not really much science behind it at all, but it is a very good movie and probably the best of the Cloverfield movies. Mostly because it's an unrelated script, like Cloverfield Paradox, that was just retroactively given the Cloverfield franchise to it. And there really is no, like, people make that as if it's a big revelation. Like, obviously that's what they do. They're pretty open about it, and it's very clear from the films. I don't know why people keep getting surprised by that. I didn't expect any answers out of this movie, and of course I didn't get any. What's also dumb about the third movie, though, is it gets even more of the science wrong and brings up even more questions. This movie's dumb. I didn't even intend to make this into a real video. This is just a joke, but now that I'm talking about it, it's just unraveling. Alright, we're done. This is a little errand of mine, and that's all I have to say on the matter. Thanks for watching, and if you like Comic Island, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.